All right. Can you all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. It took me forever to log into the live streaming software. Man, he must be trying to look younger so people mistake him for Charlotte's boy toy. Josh is dyeing his hair. There's Fast Eddie. Always talk about me dyeing my hair. Fast Eddie, apparently he likes spell Detroit not so warm. All right, 60 here in North Carolina. I always thought that Pablo was Pablo. Oh boy. Just make sure y'all can hear me. I'm saying thumbs up there. Can y'all hear? Going once, going twice. I had to refresh to get the live deal, so pulverizer. Let me just type in some here. Good evening, all. Can you all hear? Okay, gotcha. So pulverizer says yes. There's Jill. Jill's trying to convince me to like the Beatles. I haven't listened to the songs you sent to me yet, Jill. I have a sneaky suspicion I won't like the Beatles, but we shall see. Then my man Greg sent me some. What the hell is Greg? The name of the band? Pam Cornelius. Haven't seen you for a while. So my man Greg sent me some music from. He said these guys sound like ELO, and then somebody say I never got into ELO. I'm not that old. All right, so all the old guys they love ELO and stuff. I never got into ELO, so I'm gonna tell you who Greg sent me to. You would really like these guys. They sound like Electric Light Orchestra. I'm like, okay, that's not very. Let's see if I can't find it. There it is. Called Pugwash. Band's called Pugwash. I'll check them out. But I said, look, I'm always interested in hearing good tunes. I'll give them a go. And then Greg says, "Oh, I don't think they'll have enough testosterone for you. That's just good songwriting." I said, "Well, I like bluegrass. I do like some bluegrass. You know what I'm saying? I like some Mexican music. You should know all the Beatles songs. I love Jeff Lynne, ELO. Lots of young guys like Beatles and ELO. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, there you go. A pulverizer, like I said. So there you go. It seems like it's shady in here. It's just my eye. Okay, that looks better. Loud and clear, says Robert Scott. Robert Scott, you got two first names. Okay, so we know we can trust you. Two first names. All right. So Josh is dyeing my hair. Murray, does it look like I'm dyeing my hair? If I dye my hair, wouldn't I dye it back here too? I'm not dyeing my hair. Fast Eddie has something for the fellas apparently. So I just got out of the shower not too long ago. In fact, I used some. So I put some apple cider vinegar on my hair for a dry scalp, and that worked okay. But it made my hair very soft. I liked it. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. But then some guy says, just get this Head and Shoulders dry scalp stuff. So I was in Walmart yesterday. So let me pick up some dry scalp stuff. So I put it on and we'll see if it itches. Me too. That's one in Discovery. So you can pass on as Charlotte's boy toy. There's Angie. Yeah, so Angie said that. Angie and Andrew, they said, put some apple cider vinegar in your hair. And I did. And I smelled like a French fry. It was great. I had a French fry smell. It was fantastic. I felt like I should put some ketchup on me and eat myself. I'm not sure. Oh boy, there we go. Here's someone already griping. Not sure how ELO goes with the title. Guess I'll try another channel. Yeah, man. There's always somebody doing it. It's the funniest thing. So Dale says, "How dare you talk about anything else than what your title says? I'm finding somebody else." I don't think Dale's ever been here before. Man. People got sticks so far up their butt. And unless Dale's joking, I don't know if he might be. I just like, dude, give me how dare you do anything but talk about the title? I had some guy email me the other day about the same thing. It was, man, you said the title's going to be about retirement planning. You didn't talk at all about retirement planning. I said, life expectancy is retirement planning? Life expectancy? That's not retirement planning? Okay there, guy. Whatever. Anyway, so last time we did this live stream, I was in the ELO is old. They go with retirement. Right on, Chuck B. Right on. Last time I did this, I was in hot water with my wife. So today I see a Facebook thumbs up. I was like, maybe that's my wife. I don't think I was in much hot water. So that's good. So last time I was in hot water. I don't even know why I was in hot water. She was not a happy camper with your old buddy Josh. And I was like, yeah. But I'm in less hot water now. Let's talk hardware off the moon, so no distraction there. Right on. So hopeful Dale will say, he's 8 minutes into the video. And actually, it was 5 minutes in because I was 3 minutes late because I couldn't get on StreamYard. Hopeful Dale says, he's going to talk about healthcare, but it wasn't to my intention. I wanted to be talked about right away because I got other things to do. Now, is Angie can suggest Josh at the Plexiderm will really get him pretty. What the hell's Plexiderm? I don't know what that is. Plexiderm? Yeah, I'm not taking any prescriptions. I'll tell you that right now, man. Was that Jan Porter? Last thing I need is my primary care physician to say, "Ooh, I got more drugs I can recommend to you." Say, "No, don't want your statins. Don't want your these things. Just put your finger in my butt so you can check my prostate." And what else? And feel my, see if I cough as you're, doing that. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can't see what I'm doing, but you're, kind of holding something that you probably shouldn't be holding unless you're my wife. And see if I can cough. And then I gotta get the EKG for my my blood work in my heart, and that's all great. That's all fantastic. Nothing like a lady jamming something where the only thing should be coming out of to see if you got prostate. Yeah, that's not very appealing to me at all. Josh, Dale expects you to come in a suit and a tie, 100%, Jill. With an agenda on your whiteboard, stick to it like a professor, 100%. Dale's obviously new to this channel because if he thinks I'm coming in like, okay, class, let me know. Turn and cough. Exactly, Ted. Guys know what you mean, turn and cough. Look, if it's a dude doing it, I don't know, that doesn't bother me so much because it's a dude, unless, he's trying to get frisky with me. That's not cool. But if it's a chick doing, I'm just like, I'm not sure I like chicks, doing stuff with my private areas, if that makes sense. And I said, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this guy's not the infantry. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm just old school. But it's not something I'm all that keen on. But whatever, it gets done. It's embarrassing. Just bend over this freaking table. I'm like, dude. They still check them that way, Denise. It's an acquired taste. As long as I don't show more skin to attract more viewers. That's what I encourage my wife to do. And every time I do, she gets pissed. It's like, ugh. So we got an issue right now with my daughter who's in Australia. And let's just put it this way. Male or female, as long as they're smiling or laughing, 100%. Or as long, it seems like an OnlyFans ad, 100%. OnlyFans. My OnlyFans channel. As long as they're not smiling or laughing or taking their sweet time. Say, hey, Doc, how long you got to be up in there? Colon prep is pretty nasty stuff. Yeah, I had wrinkles and baggy eyes for Plexiderm. Interesting, because I do have these things right there, and I don't like that. Because Charlotte, with her new job, she gets up at 5:15. I get up with her. You can see I'm getting these bags under my. I do not like that. That makes me. Look, when you're on video, you still want to look somewhat attractive. When I say attractive, you don't. I'm not saying, I'm not gonna put makeup on or anything like that. But I would like to get rid of those bags. It's not. Let's talk ELO. You don't want to talk about me bending over and having someone sham and say 5 minutes later, say, dude, how long has that taken there, man? You know what I'm saying? I got to try it again. Bam. It's like, oh, boy. See, it looks like my connection. If my connection gets unstable, let me know. I was having a hard time logging in here to StreamYard today. Evil Woman. That's not an ELO song, is it? I know that. I was just listening to some AC/DC, though, just about an hour ago. So that's old school too, but not as old as the ELO. So ELO was the other bands that you guys used to like in the 70s. I still like Blue Chair. That's probably a 60s band more than 70s, but ELO and I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, I don't know. It's all good. Preparation H for baggy eyes 80 solution. The preparation H was for hemorrhoids. Do people really put that on your eyes? All right, we're getting old, man. All right. So let's summertime blues. But Rush, they're not. I don't know. I don't look at Rush the same way as look at ELO. Hold on a second. Gotta get my hot tea. I don't know. I just Jonathan Rush, the 3 Uriah Heep. Yes, I don't know, man. Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac, horrible. My parents used to have that stupid Fleetwood Mac album. Oh, with the guy with a dude on just hated it. But I like Uriah Heep. Uriah Heep freaking crushed, man. Yeah, Eagles never did much for me. No, they don't do anything for me. But Uriah Heep, I liked. Fleetwood Mac, ugh. And then what's that chick's name who went from Fleetwood Mac? The chicken who went to Arizona, Sedona, Arizona. What's that? Stevie Nicks. Well, that's Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks. Lindsey Buckingham. Ugh. That's a dude, but no, not good albums. Those albums are not. Black Sabbath, of course. So Brad wins. Exactly. Everybody else is wrong, but Brad wins the case. All right. So Evil Woman. Stick. Yeah, but Sticks back then crushed Robert Scott. Linda Ronstadt. How freaking dare you, Brad? Is that the topic? Yes, ma'am, it is. Lindsey Buckingham, good. You guys are wrong. Stevie Nicks went to San Jose State. Moody Blues. Horrible. Oh, dude, yeah. Caress. I used to call Caress of Steel. Dude, Caress of Steel was freaking. That was one of my first albums I ever got. See, Styx and Foreigner back in the 70s crushed. And then some evil magician came in and said, you can't play that rock and roll anymore. Now you got to play this. I was watching a video on Styx with Dennis DeYoung. I think I talked about this. I don't know if I talked about it, but he wanted to go more orchestra, and everybody else, like Tommy Shaw, wanted to stay plays just hard rock. I mean, crazy. And Judas Priest, I've never gotten into Judas Priest. I mean, I love Screaming for Vengeance, the song, but they never did much for me, Judas Priest. I didn't think they're all that good. Remember when Bev was, no, that's not true, is it? The drummer for Black Sabbath was also an ELO? That's crazy. They kicked Dennis out, yeah, because he became crazy. All right. So let's go into this here before Brad. Is that, no, not Brad. What's that dude's name? Dale? I'm going to, is this Eric? Is that Eric? You there? Like Blue Oyster Cult, and there's a couple songs. No, not the stupid Don't Fear the Reaper. That song never did anything for me. But I had a Blue Oyster Cult album on 12-inch or vinyl that I got at some thrift store or something like that. And this is back probably one of the first. I got a Steve Miller, old Steve Miller had. Jill, you'd be shocked how many freaking vinyl albums I had. And I had to sell them all. I sold them all for $500 because I was being sued by some. I wasn't being sued. I was being prosecuted because some lady accused me of physically assaulting her when I was managing my bar, when it was the exact opposite. Like I got arrested. I spent the night in the freaking whatever the hell it's called up in Arlington County, Virginia. I said, what? I said, she did that to me. I didn't do it to her. Like I went crazy. But she was a law student at American University. And so I was like, what the hell is this? Anyway, so I had to raise some money for an attorney because my bar wasn't paying for it because they sucked donkey balls. And so I had to, sell all my records, and still to this day still pisses me off. Sold them for $500. I raised another $1,500. I had some money, so I had to pay this guy $2,000. This is the story of, real quick, my first mutual fund was a Montgomery Emerging Markets Fund. I put $2,000 in there. It was worth like $1,300 back when I had to sell it and raise some other money by selling my albums and doing some other stuff to pay for this attorney because I was being prosecuted by the Arlington County, Virginia for I don't know what the hell it's called, assault and battery, whatever it is, on a woman. It's just freaking nuts, dude. She went in with her crocodile tears and said, he punched me or pushed her or something. I said, you did that to me. You did that to me. I didn't touch you. It was crazy. And thank the good Lord, I had these people way back because I managed this huge bar right in Clarendon Avenue in Arlington, right off the Key Bridge. And these people, it was on a Sunday night, very slow night, Sunday nights. And it's huge, this huge bar. And these people were way back, a couple, way back there. I didn't know they were there. And they left their number for me after I got walked out in braces. You know what I'm saying? They left a number. They said, hey, give this to that guy because we saw everything that happened. And so I said, thank God, because I'm like, dude, I mean, I don't know what the hell's going to happen, but I literally didn't. This is crazy. And they came to the Clarendon courthouse about 6 months later when I was getting, going before the judge, and the chick who prosecuted me or didn't show up. I'm not going to show up. It's like, what? You get to not show up? You can accuse me of doing this? I got paid for attorney, I spent the night in jail, and you just don't show up and everything's hunky dory on your end? But I'm the one who had to pay. By then was living in Phoenix. I had to come all the way back to Virginia to go to the court case. I said, nothing happened to you. I said, oh, I got it. So if I show crocodile tears and I'm a lady, I can go accuse anybody of anything. And even if I don't bother falling through, then their lives could be disrupted, but nothing happens to me. That's why the whole thing with Duke Lacrosse and all that crap and the Me Too, I said, no, man, I got to see evidence. Just because some chick says, oh, this happens, having gone through that myself, no. I don't buy it for 2 seconds flat, which is sad because there are scumbags who do, molest and rape women. But my initial spidey sense is I got to see some evidence, because just some ladies crying. Lena Dunham, remember what she did against that guy in wherever that stupid college was, Oberlin? Some guy's like, dude, you're just lying. You're lying about it. And Lena Dunham had the power of all the media. Everyone's kissing Lena Dunham's behind. Crazy. And this guy's like, dude, this is just wrong. Our judicial system is an absolute joke, and they all can suck donkey balls, pardon my French. And we got to be like, what we got to do is we got to be like England. Loser pays. All right, you can sue all day long or whatever the hell it is, but if you lose, you're paying. That's what we should do. And I guarantee you'll see a lot of this just immediately evaporate. All right, so that's why Me Too is terrible. The legal system set up without a reason, 100%, man. Paradise Theater, is that the one? What's the one with Lady? That song is just classic. You're my lady of the morning. I sing that to my wife to get frisky, and she says, please sleep down in the basement. I said, oh. I say, but look, I'm singing a song to you. Let's get frisky. Lady. She goes, yep, in the basement. All right, so let's go into this. We got a lot to talk about healthcare. Lot to talk about. Ooh. No smell. I just lost some brain cells. All right. So if what I charge, just as a side note, when you're on Medicare, this is Medicare. All right. So I charge for part A, part B, part D. All right. So these are original Medicare. Part A and part B. Part A is hospital. Can you all hear me when I go that? It's moon-based alpha calling. Copyright infringement, whatever I'm saying. All right. Now, this is La Croix. This is peppermint tea from, I can't remember the company. All right, so part A that's called hospital insurance. That's actually getting the physical building. That's hospital insurance. And it's free once you're on Medicare, because you pay that through your FICA taxes. All right, so that's the 7.65, your total FICA tax. 6.2 goes to Social Security. 1.45 goes to Medicare. That's your Medicare tax right there. And there's no way that's not even close to being enough. Part B is your physician services. So to see the nurse practitioner, to see the RN, to see the doc, that's what Part B is. And Part B costs you, in terms of what I use in Right Capital, $200 a month. It's about 174 right now. They raised it to 185. It's less than what I charge in Right Capital. So Part B, I charge $200 a month. Part D is I can't remember this part. Bush signed Part D, and I can't remember the legend. It was a pension protection. I can't remember. But anyway, that's your prescription drugs. And I think that's around $40 a month. I charge $50 in Right Capital. I charge $50. All right. So between Part B and Part D, prescription drugs, physician services, hospital insurance, you're paying $250 a month. All right. Now I'm inflating this at 5.5% a year. So we're using a 5.5% inflation. And I get that from CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Their inflation number is a little bit less than mine. They say about 5.5%, roughly until the older baby boomers die off. Then the increase in inflation will drop from 5.5 to 4.9. I don't do that. I just say 5.5%. All right. So, but the problem is this only covers 80% of your total bill. All right. So you're still on the hook for the other 20%. That's where what's called Medigap or Medicare supplement comes in. All right. Now, what's confusing is we have this thing called Part C. And I got these markers from Miss Linda in Florida. who I forgot her name one time, and she goes, "Oh, this is your forgotten friend, Linda," and she sent me all these markers. And I felt bad for forgetting. I knew her name. I knew it. I couldn't recall off the top of my head. And she was fine. I mean, she wasn't mad. So we got right here. We got Part C. That's Medicare Advantage. All right, Medicare Advantage. So a lot of people think that's a national A, B, C, D. Well, Medicare Advantage isn't what we're shooting for necessarily. I'm going to show you an article here in just a second comparing Medicare Advantage to Medicare supplemental policies, or what's called Medigap. So remember, we are on the hook with these three for 20% of whatever the total costs are. All right, so we want to get another policy to cover us for that. And what we want, my recommendation, if you have the money, would get a Medigap, otherwise known as Med Sup, like a Plan G or N. I don't even know if they offer Plan Gs anymore. I just can't. I know they got rid of Plan F, but I think they still do. But a Medigap, or otherwise known as a Medicare supplemental policy, a plan. I talked to a guy just this morning from Virginia, Big Al, and he just signed up. He's just got a Medicare. He's got a Medigap, otherwise known as a Medicare supplemental plan. Plan N costs him $83 a month. Right. So his supplemental policy is quite cheap, and he had to get he hurt his ankle. I think he said, or foot. I think it said he hurt his foot in a motorcycle accident. He's had many issues, so he had to get surgery on it. It's fine. He's getting a knee replacement, fine. You'll talk to all these old people with hip replacements, knee replacements, all that, and their Medigap policy or Medicare supplemental policy, basically no problem at all. None. And one of the reasons why Medicare is going bankrupt, they don't have enough money coming in. But we don't make the rules; we just live by them. So it'd be crazy not to take advantage of it. Anyway, long story short, my preference is this as opposed to this, and I charge in Right Capital $150 a month for that. All right, so you can get Part C for free, and that will include prescription drugs some places. It really contingent on your county and whatnot. And that's why you want to talk to like a professional, like my man J.O. Up at maximizeyourmedicare.com, maximizeyourmedicare.com. He's up in Michigan, but he's licensed everywhere. Or Danielle Roberts and the crew down there in Texas, boomerbenefits.com. You want to talk to somebody who does this for a living. That's not me. But anyway, but generally speaking, we want this, all right, in my opinion. And I'll share with you the exact reasons why here in just a second. But if you get Part C, it's going to be most likely it's going to be a lot cheaper. But there are big negatives on Part C, because this right here is open enrollment once you reach Medicare for Medicare supplemental policy. They can't deny you initially, all right? They can't deny you initially. They can deny you later on down the road, years down the road. All right, so what that means now, some states, and Jay and I did these videos 4 or 5 years ago, like Connecticut, Washington, they're guaranteed issue, which means it's almost like you don't have to get homeowners insurance, but the minute your house is on fire, you can get homeowners insurance. In the state of Connecticut and Washington, some other states say, you done, buddy? Did you do any weights? What'd you do? All right, cool. Good job, bud. Try and get my kids weightlifting so they can see if they can put up their dukes with their old dad, so I can still take them. Anyway, so what happens? What was I just saying? So if it's a guaranteed issue, they're going to say, hey, if we have to guarantee that you get a coverage, we're going to charge you more, because it'd be like, again, your house is on fire and then you get insurance. That's just freaking stupid, but that's what they do. Most states, it isn't guaranteed issue. So most states, if you're on Part C and you say it doesn't cover me, especially on some, because it changes every year, Part C does. And it's very tough to follow. I want to jump off a bridge every time I see this. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. So if you go from Part C to Medigap or Medicare supplemental policy, the insurance companies, in most states, the vast majority, have the right to underwrite you. And they can say, no, we're not taking you on. Sorry, you had your chance for a guaranteed issue when you're 65, when you first enrolled in Medicare. But because you did not take us all, Infiltration History by Liam. Hey, how'd you know it was Liam? That's funny, Celtic. Yeah, there's Plan N. There's Liberty 1776. He's on Plan N at $88 a month. What state you live in? Aren't you in like Iowa or something like that? Plan N seems like the Yeah, I think Plan G was preferable because I can't remember why, Pam, but I think Plan G because it didn't have the copays or something, or not was the copays or I can't remember. Yeah, right here. Here's Judy B. Maria, get a Plan D, even if you're not on prescription now, because you never know. My current Plan D costs $0 a month. And I'm not saying don't get Part C. I'm not saying don't get Medicare Advantage. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for me, my preference would be Medicare supplemental policies. It's kind of like the difference between an HMO and a PPO. Now, you can get some, I guess, you can get some Medicare Advantage plans, Part C, that are similar to PPOs, but I'm going to share some thoughts on that here in just a second. Anyway, so I charge 150 here. So we take 200 plus 500 plus 150. That's $400 a month. All right, so that's $400 a month. This again, I just want to start off what I charge in Right Capital. You still got out of pocket. Medicare doesn't cover ears, doesn't cover your eyes or your teeth, so you get still pay for that. Some plan Part C's do. Some have that in there. I mean, so that's. I'm not telling you just avoid Part C. I'm not saying that. Generally speaking, though, I think the default should always be, like I think somebody said, the Medigap, Medicare supplemental policy, Plan G or Plan N, 100%. All right. Now, you don't have to do, you can do whatever you want. You got to look at your own situation. But anyway, so when you factor in out of pocket copays, everything, I'm charging, depending on state you live, I'm charging $500 to $550 a month per beneficiary. So if it's husband, wife, that's over $1,000 a month. If it's, if you're in Connecticut, that's probably going to be about $1,100 a month. And that seems to be pretty spot on. Now, some people have, some people have very specific prescriptions. I mean, obviously, this is just rule of thumb here, but you're looking at about $500 a month per person once you're on Medicare. That's pretty good coverage. It ain't cheap. So let's go into this article I was reading earlier. If I can find it. Yeah, right here. Here we go. And this is from the Centers. All right. See you, Denise. Go listen to some ELO. That tea is good. Medicare B is great. No network, 80% coverage, and massive price adjustments for 20% copay. All right, so let's go into this article here. All right, hope you all can see this from the Centers for Retirement Research over at Boston College. And look, I take all kinds of issues with these guys because they are fixated on race stuff. I just don't understand this infatuation with everything race. Hey, look, my wife gave me a thumbs up. Woo! I'm out of the doghouse. Yay! And Irma can determines your Part D too, brother. Part D too. So yes, you're 100% right. In fact, so look, my wife on Facebook gave me a thumbs up. So yay, I'm out of the doghouse. Who's out of the doghouse? Josh. Who's out of the doghouse? Josh. I'm in the doghouse. So Medicare Advantage reigns, but who still buys Medigap? All right. And so this right here, Medicare buyers on average use $12,200 in medical care annually. And that's pretty much exactly what I say. Now, I haven't looked at their study. I say I'm using it for a couple. So I'm using it for, Denise and her better half. You know what I'm saying? Josh and Charlotte, about $500 to $550 a month. That's about $12,000 bucks. I don't know if they're talking about per person. I don't think anyone's using that per person here. So I'm assuming they're using it for a couple here. And there's a study here, which I haven't read yet. But anyway, Medigap buyers, Medicare supplement, Medigap and Medicare supplement are the same thing, right? Use $12,200 in medical care annually, which is more than anyone else on Medicare, right? Oh, they're saying it's annually what they're using annually. They're not saying the premium. Okay, gotcha. So they're saying that's what it costs to service these people, not what they're paying for. Since Medigap buyers spend more, that's not true. That's what they are saying. Yeah, I don't buy that for two. I don't know. They're saying Medigap buyers spend $12,200 on medical care annually. Yeah, I don't buy that for 2 seconds. That might be the average. Remember, the averages always get skewed towards the outlier. I don't buy that at all, man. Unless they're using it for people like 2 years outside of death. Or the guys just talked today. like I said, $83 a month for his plan N, for his Medigap plan N in Virginia. 100. He's paying. It's literally his Part B is 174. His Part D is I think 44. I can't remember. And he just got knee surgery and all. I mean, he's just got all kinds of surgery. He's not paying $12,000. So they might be skewing that towards the people on the higher end who are spending a lot, like their last 2 years. Like my mom. I mean, she's spending an awful lot of money on healthcare. My mom's the exception to the rule. That's just a fact. Anyway, let's keep going. Either way, Medicare Medigap buyers use $12,200 in medical care annually. And since Medigap, see, this is I didn't like this when they did this. I don't like even now. And they're saying premiums are excluded from the estimate. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's not the point here. Come on, man. You're going to tell me the Medigap buyers on average are spending $12,200 a year on healthcare, and that doesn't include the premiums. I don't buy that for 2 seconds. That's just, see, this is, the averages are so, I don't buy it. Man, let's just keep going. Since Medigap buyers spend more, a logical supposition is that they're less healthy. But researchers found they're actually healthier than other retirees. Their incidence of diabetes and cardiovascular disease are lower. They even spend more on healthcare than comparable retirees with the same health profiles. And the reason for that is because Medicare Advantage people generally are a poor group of people. And poorer group of people are usually less healthy. No one should be shocked by this. And this is pretty just common sense. Lower educated, lower health, lower income. And that doesn't mean education will make you healthy or anything like that. Like the education, 20 years from now, the less educated you are, the more healthy you're going to be, because education is so corrupt nowadays. We just know that for a fact. But this is still valid to say. So why are the Medigap people spending more on healthcare than the lower income, the lower health people on the Medicare Advantage? And here, right here, Medigap is very different than Advantage plans that dominate the market. And I don't say dominate. I think Medicare Advantage, I think Part C is like 60% of the market. Medigap is remember, Medigap and Medicare supplement the same thing. Medigap is a separate insurance policy that supplements the federal government's direct payments through Medicare Part A and Part B for hospital and medical services. Under Advantage plans, the government pays insurers to provide all the care under a private policy. Medigap allows retirees to choose their doctors. Advantage plans offer like HMOs, which control the cost of care by requiring policyholders to stay in network. Since poor health doesn't seem to be the reason Medigap buyers are using more medical services, the researchers considered another possibility. They have higher cognitive functioning and understand why receiving more care is important. Or perhaps because low-income retirees often stay out of the Medigap market because they think they might qualify for Medicaid. But neither of these explanations panned out in comparison with other retirees. So why do Medigap spenders spend more? And again, I challenge that. I haven't read the study. There's just no way that the average person is spending $12,200, and that doesn't include premiums. So that's freaking dumb. The research offered that's a moral hazard. Is a situation in which individuals who have Medigap policies simply because they face a lower out-of-pocket expenses, they'll just use it. So basically, this is the problem with health insurance as a whole. The reason health insurance is so doggone expensive is because we say, well, I have the insurance. I might as well. It's like your dental. Don't forget your end of year dental stuff. You don't want to lose it. This is the moral hazard. It's like, well, I pay for the insurance. I might as well go use it. And what does that do? It drives up the cost. This is why, I got a hangnail. I better go file an insurance claim. That's why auto insurance relative to homeowners, relative to medical insurance is so much cheaper, because you don't file an insurance claim for an oil change. You see what I'm saying? But that's what happens here. It's a moral hazard. Like, I got the insurance, I might as well use it. Might as well use it. And I'd say, well, you also have insurance for your home not burning down. Should you go ahead and burn down your home? Obviously, no one's going to do that because, well, I could get caught. But no one's going to do that anyway, because it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Exactly. It's the same premise here. Is that why would you, just because you have insurance should be for catastrophic issues, but it's been completely corrupted, and it's no longer that for it. Anyway. All right, let's keep going, because there's some other stuff I want to point out, because I think this is important. And I got other stuff to share with you too. In other words, Medigap buyers are essentially getting more, but paying less out of pocket for doctor's appointments, medical care, and tests. Okay, that's fine. But I thought this guy's comment right here was fantastic. Retirees who have multiple homes or a traveler's lifestyle cannot get locked into a Medicare Advantage program and its constraints. That's why we use Medigap, says Mick Langen. Medicare Advantage constrains your choice of providers. For wealthier people who want the best in medical care, that is consideration. We will stay on Medigap for that reason, even after we stop doing the snowboard thing. But this guy says, I believe those constraints only exist for a Medicare Advantage HMO plan. PPO plans are also available through Medicare Advantage at a higher cost, but maybe not that much higher than Medigap. I don't know the answer to that. With an Advantage PPO plan, you can go to any provider that takes Medicare, as far as I understand it. I don't know that to be true or not. I don't know. But I was not aware that there's a counter to Medigap through Medicare Advantage. I don't know that to be true. And it might be very states specific. I don't know. Right here. Have you addressed the issue of authorizations? A person in need of surgery can be denied because the insurance person approving claims could deny any tests that seem unnecessary. They work for the insurer, not the person in the hospital. This is why civil servants are aggressively fighting against Medicare Advantage. And this lady says she thought, because of traveling, the lack of authorizations, whatnot. This guy right here said a good thing. Medigap is by far the superior healthcare alternative. There are no referrals necessary. I can make an appointment with any specialist I need without having to go through a primary care physician. There are no networks either. No matter where I am in the U.S., I can go to any doc who accepts Medicare. Increasingly, Medicare Advantage programs are being dropped by physician networks because doctors have to jump through so many hoops to get paid. Also, my medical costs are very predictable. I pay for the Medicare premiums, the Medigap premiums, and Part D. I have a Plan G Medigap policy, so the only thing I pay in addition to premiums is Part D deductible, which is $240 a year. If a procedure is not covered by Medicare, Medigap will not cover it, but that is true of Advantage plans as well. And drug costs are separate from that, but it's also true of Advantage plans. I will keep my Medigap plan for as long as I want to say. Anyway, so I want to say, because this one guy said, not being constrained on your choice of doctors, providers, not having to fight to get approvals to see specialists and certain medications. Some medical coverage while out of the U.S., just not having to hassle with HMO type. So again, here's a guy who's a doctor. Medicare Advantage is great for seniors who are healthy and are confident they will not need specialized care. Traditional Medicare is better for those like the Langans who spend significant parts of the year in a different location, and for those who want the freedom to choose the best doctors and hospitals for the needs. Note, you are generally locked into your choice. There's an open enrollment once a year, but Medigap plans may refuse pre-existing conditions after the open enrollment when you hit 65. This lady says, this sounds like academia is detached from the reality of medical care in the U.S. Moral hazard and insurance refers to reckless risk-taking in the belief that insurance will cover it. 100%. I would completely agree with that. It's quite a stretch to apply that concept of choice of older people who unquestionably have the greatest healthcare needs of any demographic. There are actually far more rational reasons for choosing Medigap than those considered in the study. And the way here, the maximum out-of-pocket for Advantage plans is $88.50 in 2024. The maximum out-of-pocket for Part C is $88.50. All it takes is a serious accident or illness to be saddled with those bills. Under Medigap plans, it's all covered after meeting a small annual deductible, 100%. Not having to deal with the health insurance bureaucracy restrictions and denials, which have been reported even for care explicitly covered by Medicare. This is how insurers are able to offer low or no premiums. Now, I don't understand this guy here, so I actually asked a question. This guy says he's paying over $15,000 a year just for premiums. I was like, what? $15,000 a year just for premiums. This is John and GA. He's got traditional Medicare and Medigap. Where is he paying $15,000 a year just for premiums? I said, I don't get that, man. I don't get where you're getting that. So I asked him, I said, dude, how are you coming up with over $15K a year for premiums? That's just premiums. Anyway, so that's something I want to share with you. We see Medicaid, Husky plan, Arterial, maybe, yeah, 100%. Here's a lot. I'm going to come back over here. I'm losing my, I've got to plug in. And this is where it comes to health insurance and any kind of insurance. So even like auto insurance stuff too. So Celtic Spirit says Medicaid, Husky plan here are terrible because a lot of doctors aren't going to take it. Like did we get rear-ended? I can't remember. A long time ago, I got a car crash. It wasn't bad. I forgot what happened, but it needed some body work done. And I took it to the local guy, and I told I was with USA, and he basically put me first. I said, why? He goes, because USA will always pay. I don't have to fight with them. They'll pay. I said, oh, that's good. I pay a pretty significant premium for USA. USA used to be very, very cheap. It's expensive now, but I know that the provider likes working with USA because USA pays them on time and quickly, and other providers just do not. And that, for him, that was a big deal. So think about if you're a doctor, you're like, man, I got to work on this guy, Joe Schmo. If I got a Medigap policy, I know I'm going to get paid fast. If I got to go through hoops and everything through Medicare Advantage, I'm not so sure I'm going to get paid that fast. And by the way, how much will they pay me? I don't know. That's why they have a network and all that stuff, because you got to say, hey, we're going to pay whatever's in the network and nothing more. Anyway, so the issue there, again, going back to Medicare Advantage Part C versus Medicare, just Medigap or Medicare Supplement, is more restrictive and as confusing as all can be on Part C with the difference in drugs they offer, all this stuff, man. It's nuts. And finally, you cannot re-enroll automatically if you say, I'm going on a Part C, I'll come back to Medigap later on when I need it, because Medigap will be more expensive than Part C in terms of premiums. It will be. Some of these Part C premiums you don't pay anything, and it includes dental. But if you're getting all that for free, there's got to be a catch. And the catch is absolutely, there could be significant limitations. Just a fact. All right. So the problem is you might be healthy now. You're like, I'll just like I talk about the homeowners insurance. I'm not going to carry any insurance until my house is on fire. Then I'll catch insurance. Well, no homeowner is going to insure you at that point. And so you can be on Medigap, Part C right now and not pay anything, and you're fine. You're like, I'm healthy. Well, the one time that you're not healthy, you're like, oh, no, okay, now I'm not going to be healthy. I'm going to go on Medicare Advantage. I'm going to go on Medicare Supplement. And the insurance companies say, no, we don't want you. We're not going to insure you because you have pre-existing conditions. Pam says, Medicare Advantage requires pre-approval for virtually everything. I don't want my healthcare dictated by insurance company. How dare you? They only look out for you, Pam. Insurance company only cares the most for you. Actually, let me turn this light on right here. Hold on a second. Ooh. Are you a conspiracy theorist, Pam, thinking the insurance companies don't care about you? There you go. Hold on a second. Gotta get one of these. These things are freaking awesome. They were BOGOs last week at buy one, get one free. BOGOs last week at Publix. Spendthrift. Oh, man. This is the what was that? Grapefruit. Oh, man. I'm drunk. With Advantage plans in Tejas, you can be in parts of the state and be out of network. Yeah, what I'm saying. I worked for the DOD for 40 years. I've seen it. Anytime the government is not great. Let me get it. Yeah, this stuff is good. It's good stuff. Very refreshing. Hey, look at Tom. Tom's back. What up, Tom? You back and you watching the Yankees on spring training? Tom went down to Florida to see the Yankees. All right, so I'm going to show you some other stuff here because that was pretty interesting. And then let's see if I can't find it. I'm going to share with you this. Yeah, right here. All right. Go over here, share screen. Yeah, so I don't know where those guys are coming up with. They're paying $15,000 a year in premiums. That doesn't make any sense to me. So here we got what a 65-year-old retired today will spend on healthcare. And it's a Fidelity study from 2023. Healthcare cost estimate shows projected cost. All right, projected costs. All right, just FYI. And then we get all these pop-ups, which drive me up the wall. Okay, there we go. First game tomorrow. Yeah, spring training is pretty cool. Where's the Yankees spring training? Where are they? What town? The Red Sox used to be in Vero Beach. I don't think they're there anymore. Oh, not Red Sox. The Dodgers used to be in Vero Beach. That was Dodger Town. I always wanted to go to spring training, man. And even when we lived in Phoenix, I never went. Phoenix had the Cactus League, and I just never went, man. I don't know why. I always thought spring training would be kind of fun to attend. You know what I'm saying? I always like when they split up, I think the 45-man roster or something like that, and I can't remember what it is, and they cut for the AAA, the people they assigned to the minor leagues and stuff. I thought it would always be fun to follow that and to see like who gets cut, who gets assigned, to minor leagues. The Columbus Clippers. That used to be the Yankees' #1 farm team. and they had the Paw Sox, Pawtucket Red Sox. But now they got but now they moved over to Worcester. So it's no longer the Pawtucket Red Sox. Now it's the Woo Sox, the Worcester, Massachusetts Red Sox. But believe it or not, the Indians used to have their minor league team, their AAA team in Old Orchard, Maine, believe it or not. It's called the Maine Guides. So we had a AAA minor league team in Maine, in Old Orchard, Maine. Isn't that crazy? Back in the early 80s. It was fantastic. I went to a couple of games. The problem was they built it basically where mosquitoes dominate. So they built this stadium in Old Orchard in the middle of this freaking swamp, and it's just mosquitoes everywhere, dude. Mosquitoes everywhere. It's crazy. San Francisco Giants have spring training at Scottsdale. Perfect weather during that time of the year. Man, I don't know why I never saw it, man. Crazy. And so anyway, the Maine Guys moved to Wilkes-Barre. I think it was Wilkes-Barre in there. I don't know if they're still there or not, but it was fun. I still got like a couple of the they don't have these names, the programs and whatnot, the Maine Guys. So fun. So Tim saying our Medicare Advantage is expensive, but it's the same $400 deductible in 2000 is versus the same as a PPO plan we had while working. Yeah, right on, man. So again, everyone's situation is different. So let's go over to this article here. Americans still consistently and significantly underestimate healthcare costs. Well, do we know that? Do we know that they do underestimate healthcare costs? So right here, a 65-year-old retiring today can spend an average of $157,000 on healthcare and medical expenses throughout retirement. Now, I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. That's such a stupid thing to say. What's my lump sum? It's net present value. What's my net present value in a lump sum that I need to be able to afford healthcare costs? $157,000. I don't have that kind of money. Oh my goodness! I'm going bankrupt. I can never retire. And I just simply say, let's do the same thing for the cost of food there, Fidelity. Let's do the same thing for the cost of our housing. How about that? On apparel. That's so freaking dumb. But anyway, let's keep going. This estimate assumes enrollees are enrolled in traditional Medicare, which is Part A and Part B. Medicare Part D, that's going to be your prescription drugs. We're going to get, does he also have does he not have, so he's saying, this article is saying Part A, Part B, and Part D, but they don't say anything about a supplemental plan, or they don't have anything about a supplemental plan. They share Fidelity Services Analyst focus individual in 157. And if the retirement lasts 20 years, a retiree, this is stupid too here. A retiree is looking at needing to budget $7,800 per year to spend, or $656 per month on healthcare. Why don't they have anything on supplemental plans? That doesn't make sense. So anyway, so he's saying without even a supplemental plan, you're going to spend on average over your 20-year retirement $656, and that makes sense to me. So we're basically using my $500 to $550 a month, and we're increasing that. I don't know what they're using for inflation, but I use 5.5%. So that makes sense. I think that's spot on. So he's saying on average, you're going to be spending roughly $656 per month over 20 years time. The drawback is they're not talking about a Medicare supplemental policy or even a Medicare Advantage. So I don't understand that reasoning. But our analysis finds that limits on how much retirees can spend on prescriptions covered by Part D are likely to be temporary offset for inflationary costs for retirees. Those planning for retirement need to build a plan that, of course, incorporates the still high cost of healthcare. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think anyone underestimates their fidelity. I don't think anyone says. I think if anything, it's the exact opposite. People overestimate the cost of their healthcare. I mean, it's just fact. So, so what happens here is we're saying, okay, I just say, look, you budget and your expenditure is $500 to $550 a month. If you're in a red state, $500. If you're a blue state, $550 a month for your Medicare, which includes your Medicare supplemental policy. I think you're going to be spot on, 100%. All right. For the sake of comparison, the Milkman retiree healthcare costs. It says Milliman, but I like to call Milkman. I don't know why. I think it's funny. The Milkman retiree healthcare costs released in May found a healthy 65-year-old male would need, with a retirement Medicare Advantage Plan D, will spend $134,000 for the remaining of his life, or $90,000 today in today's dollars, down from $137,000 a year ago. Okay. Yeah. And there's no comments here, I don't think. All right, so I think that's spot on. I just again, I guess that guy was the Millman study was using Medicare Advantage with a Plan D put in there as well. Either way, I think what you would want to do is budget for 500 to 550 a month for sure. All right, let's keep going. I got some other stuff to share on this topic as well. Hold on a second. Not that. Not that. Oh, right here. All right. Yeah, here's a. Oh, there's a good one right here. Sweet. Yeah, and you missed. Yeah, we're talking about ELO, Daryl. Yeah, it's written by Fidelity, so you better have to save 300,000 for healthcare, 100%. Yep. Maynard and Tejas Gordon. Five. Yeah, right on. Look at Gordon. You know, and Gordon's an old chap. He knows. All right, so let's read this one right here. This is pretty interesting. This is one I came across today from Kaiser. No, from I think it was Kaiser. Yeah, here. So we're gonna go down, and I disagree with this one a little bit too. We're actually on topic, Mike. Shocking. I know. How freaking dare you, Penelope? How double dog dare you? That just really hurts. It really hurts. And you got the wrench thing too, Penelope. And even Marie's laughing at me with a wrench thing. So Judy pays that. Where do you live, Judy? You know, what's your street address? What's your actual address right now, Judy? Where do you live? What state do you live in, Judy? Judy pays $275 for A, B, a Medigap policy, Plan N, and D, and that's the prescription drugs. Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, right. Exactly, Jill. See, Jill, another person with a wrench. I discriminate against men for wrenches. I used to have my man Tom Major. Whatever happened to Tom Major, man? Judy lives in Michigan. Are you like that's and so far so good, Judy? I mean, any issues that you've had with your Medicare stuff? You know, when you had to go see the doc, everything worked pretty well without a lot of hoops to jump through. Yeah. Bruins, who are they playing? I haven't followed any hockey at all. Anything. Oakland County, Michigan. Major Tom is out on a mission, right on. Absolutely. Well, I don't know where Oakland County is. Who are they playing? The Bees. I usually don't really follow hockey into the playoffs because remember what happened last year is that the Bruins were the best team. I think literally the best team in terms of points scored ever, in terms of their points at the end of the year ever, and they lost in the first round. Yeah, right here. Playing Island. Westbrook is out indefinitely. Russell Westbrook, is that your guy? Is that what we're talking about? Who are you talking about, Westbrook? No issues, just paid $18 a month for an $89,000 radiation bill. Yeah, exactly. Islanders. Pat LaFontaine, I'll never forgive that guy. So you guys can share with northern suburbs of Detroit is Oakland County. Russell Westbrook. I like Russell Westbrook. I like him. I don't know why everyone hates on that guy. It's crazy to me. Yeah, I would think too, Ted. But you're moving back to like Indiana or something like that, aren't you, or something like that? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much it costs in Maine. I'm not sure how much that is. Again, it's all contingent on where you live, man, for sure. But I mean, here's Judy B. I mean, she's only paying less than $300 a month, and she only paid $18 for an $89,000 radiation bill. That's pretty good. Ohio, right on. Yeah. All right, so let's go look at this one here. This is pretty interesting, in my humble opinion. Is Dale still here? Am I staying on topic, Dale? So just Pat LaFontaine. You know what I'm talking about, Stephen Haggerty. So Pat LaFontaine. Well, let me see if Stephen knows what I'm talking about. The Easter, what's it called? The Easter Massacre, something like that. Oh my goodness, it was painful. Painful to behold. All right. Income and assets of Medicare beneficiaries in 2023. I'm sure you can't see this. I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger. All right. So this is an interesting one. And I haven't read their surveys or anything yet. So I'm just going off what this is a basic press release. But it looked pretty legit in terms. I did look at the methods on how they came up with this in terms of income. I said, okay, so that looks legit to me. Anyway, so I got itch my nose because all the cocaine. Oh yeah, give me a bump. Dude, people get addicted to stuff. Yeah, Easter 1987. You look at Mike, you got it. Oh, my shirt's not inside. Oh, you can see it says Cambridge Tennis. Yeah, Fast Eddie. Fast Eddie's just looking out for me. He wants me to dye my hair and he wants to have my shirts on inside, right side out, or whatever it's called. So I think Fast Eddie's got the hots for me. No one else comments about my appearance more than Fast Eddie, except a couple guys say, "Take your hat off, please." Pat LaFontaine, third overtime. Right on, Mike. Mike, you live in Maryland or the DC area? Because I watched that game. I used to be I still like I like the Caps, I like the Bruins. So when I was growing up, the Bees were my team because I lived in Maine. Then I moved to DC and I just took the Caps, Dale Hunter and everything. Freaking, we used to have Scott Stevens before he went to New Jersey Devils and Bobby Carpenter and whatnot. And the Caps were like one of the better, but they could never do anything. It sucked. Anyway, so one time I'll never forget, I was listening. I think the Bruins were playing the Caps like in 2009 or 8 or maybe even 2011 or something like that. I can't remember. It was in the playoffs. And I was doing a seminar in Western PA. I was driving back on the New Jersey Turnpike. We were living in New Jersey. And I was listening on the radio. And I think it went to game. I think it was game 7. And I was like, who am I going for? Because I always, I liked Alex Ovechkin. I love the Caps. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in high school, I just have always been a big Caps fan. But I always liked the Bees too. I said, who am I going for? And then I felt my heart going for the Bees, man. Can't lie. I was like, I hope the Bees win, the Bruins. I guess I just, was more loyal to the Bruins. But and then the Bruins went on. I don't know if that was, I guess it must have been that year when they won the Cup. No, it's 2013 when they won the Cup. That wasn't the year they won the Cup. Anyway, but I remember thinking, I said, man, I'm going for the Bees. I just remember driving back from New Jersey on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. It was late at night. I was like, I guess I'm going for the Bees. It's crazy. And I think they ended up winning. I can't remember. Actually, I think they might have lost that game. Long story short, and then the Bees got the Cup in 2013, 11 or 13. Was it 11? No, I think it was 2000. No, it's 2011 with Tim Thomas. Because in 13 when they lost the freaking Blackhawks in Game 6, the 32 seconds. Fans, yeah, remember the Canucks fans rioted too when they lost the Rangers. Remember that? Who names their truck kingpin? Ooh, the Bruins are down 5-0. Yeah, but when they won the Cup, that was fantastic. That was so. I mean, it was kind of over. It was anticlimactic. I think they won it 5 games, but against the freaking Vegas Knights, like I wish they would have beaten. But so the Bruins, they win against Vancouver. Then they're down 3-2 against Chicago, but they're freaking smashing them in Game 6, man. Yeah, 2011. Yeah, they're smashing them in Game 6, and the Bruins are up 2-1 or 3-2 with 32 seconds left or something like that. The Blackhawks pull the goalie, and I think it's Crawford, if memory serves. Yeah, and you're thinking, because the Bruins they were going to win in Game 7 in Chicago. You could feel it. They're just smashed. They were just dominating the Blackhawks. So Blackhawks pull the goalie, and there's nothing to lose to the Hawks, so they're still going to Game 7. But the Bruins were just taking the blue cheek, and we're just crushing them, man. It was great, and then they just got this goal with like 32 seconds left. And you're like, damn, this is going to overtime. But you're still like, all right, we're still a better team. We were the better team. And I say we because I was on the team. And then I forgot the dude's name, Bolin, I think, with like 16 seconds left. He freaking sinks the puck. And you're like, and now the Bruins got like we're about to lose the Stanley Cup. Like 32 seconds ago, we're dominating. We're going to Chicago. We're going to kill them because we're just dominating the game. They tie the game up. You're like, all right, that sucks, but we'll still win because so we're just going to be tight. It's going to be nerve-wracking, but we're the better team that day. And then a fluke goal. You're like, what just happened? I could not believe it, man. I could not believe it. And then you're like stunned. And then we didn't. And the Hawks won the Stanley Cup on the Bruins home ice. That was painful. Then we go against Game 7 against the St. Louis Blues. And it's a tight first period. And then Marchand, there's like 7 seconds left in the first period. I can't remember the score. I think we were down 1-0. I forgot. I don't think it was Backus. I think we had Backus at this point. I can't remember. But there's a guy. I can't remember the guy for St. Louis. I want to say it's Backus, but I don't think it was. It wasn't Backus. A Pierre Delangelo, one of those guys. So there's like 7 seconds left in the end of the first period, and for some reason, Marchand gets off the ice to make a switch, a line change, and Pierre Delangelo, whatever his name is, freaking, he has an open. I think Atuka was the goalie. He has an open, there's no one there. He's got an open puck, open space, like a breakaway with like 7 seconds left, and he sinks the puck, and now we're down 2-0. We can never come back from that. Yeah, Pierre Angelo, that's what it was. Oh, yep. That. Was Luongo talking smack before closing out the series? Wow, because I remember that. Remember the Canucks were up 2-0. Memory serves. Look at Ted. That's right, Ted. That was spot on. I think I would say Ted says my recent video is spot on. I would say they're all spot on. Yeah, that was painful. I was like, I love Marchand. I was like, why'd you? I don't play hockey, but I mean, I follow the sport. I was like, I don't know. You got off, and so frustrating. And we still made a game out of it, but wasn't our night, man. Those game sevens. Painful. So we could have had 3 cups. We could have been a dynasty like the Pats. You know what I'm saying? But we went to 3 Stanley Cup Finals. We won 1. And that was no one expected us to win against the Vancouver Canucks, and we did in Game 7. And then we just so frustrating. I will say the LA Kings. Do you have a Bob Sweeney shirt? No, I do not. I do not have a Bob Sweeney shirt. The LA Kings Rangers. That when what's his name, Martinez. I think it was Martinez. Yeah, Alex Martinez, when he got that goal in overtime. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty fun. I mean, even though it was 4 games to 1, that was still a good series. Blackhawks side here, yeah, they are sucking wind lately. Oh man, for real. But then a couple years later, the Hawks won on in the United Center. Dude, I'll never forget when we lost. We're up 3-2 to Montreal, and this was in the Stanley Cups. I think it was round 2. And I remember we're up 3-2, and for some reason, Game 6 was in Montreal, and we just laid it. I don't know what happened. Like we just didn't show up to play, and I'm thinking this isn't good, man. We're coming back to Boston, and we were the better team, and they just took it to us. I think the Canadiens might even went to the Cup that year. Did they go to the Cup? They played the. I think they played the Rangers. I think that's the year the Canadiens and the Rangers played. Yeah, when the Rangers played the Kings. I think that's what it was. The Canadiens and the Rangers played in the Eastern Conference Finals. But I'll never forget. I was sitting there thinking, we can't go back to Boston. We know we're going to lose. I'll never remember. Lucic was talking to freaking PJ Subban. He's like you could tell he's like pissed. He's like, well, this won't. He's like, this won't happen again next year. And then they released him where they traded him. I love Lucic. I was like, man, I wish they would have kept him because we got soft after that. So the Bruins said, oh, we got to be soft. That was the thing that pissed me off. We listened to all these naysayers. Oh, the Bruins are too, they're not athletic enough. They're too, and I was like, no, we got too soft, man. And it's like we just won the Cup a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Being this freaking hardcore team. Oh, they're too hard. We got to be more soft. I was like, oh. Yeah, Blackhawks jerseys are freaking fantastic. Like the North Dakota, the Fighting Sioux, those are green and white. That was a freaking fantastic jersey, man. Should everyone include NHL? No, because it's too damn expensive. NHL tickets are nuts. So NHL doesn't make any money on TV relative to like the NBA and baseball, and then never mind football. So the NHL, that's why the Winnipeg Jets are considering moving, man. The Winnipeg Jets, yeah, Lucic is, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that sucks. But the Winnipeg Jets are thinking. I said, welcome back to Atlanta, baby. We got the market for you. Is any Nesson? Are they still out there? New England Sports Network. We used to have HTS, what we have for the Capitals and the Bullets. It was fantastic. All right. But I would, if the NHL comes back to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, and it'll be North I think it's be in the South Forsyth County, North Fulton County area, I might stay here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to stay in Fulton County. I might. Nesson is alive. Well, man, dude, that's where I can find myself back up there. I miss that, man. I'm telling you, I miss that something wicked. See all the games because we in HTS Home Team Sports we used to have the Bruins, the Oreos. They used to have the Caps and I think they had the Bullets too. And man, it's just fun. Then you have like the local. We have I think it's Jefferson Pilot would have the ACC. They had like Maryland football and basketball, and man, it was a blast. But I remember New England Sports Network, man. It just every game was just great. I miss that, dude. I'm not gonna lie, it was just fun. Even when I lived in Philly, I lived in the suburbs. I lived in Haddonfield, New Jersey, but you got to see all the Sixers weren't good, but the Flyers, it was great. You got to see all the Flyers games, and we went to a couple of Flyers games, and it was just. I've always been partial to the Flyers. They were the cap killers back in the day, like Tim Kerr and all that stuff. But the Flyers always had a good fan base. They always played a good game. And then Lindros, I always liked Lindros. He always played hard, and I was always rooting for the Flyers. They weren't my team, obviously. I like the Caps, but and then the Flyers beat the Caps in Game 7 in the I don't think it's the Eastern Conference Finals. It's like 2008, I think. I don't think it was but I remember it's like, again the Caps lose. Like, man, how come all my teams lose Game 7? It sucks. Yeah, Atlanta. I'm telling you, man. So Atlanta, the reason the Thrashers left wasn't because of fan base. Is because the owner sucked. First of all, he had the stupid State Farm Arena downtown. The hockey fans aren't living downtown. You know what I'm saying? The NBA fans are downtown. Hockey fans aren't downtownites. You know what I'm saying? They're just not. Hockey fans are in the wealthier suburbs. It's just a fact. And so I don't want to go see my brother's coming and we're going to go see the Hawks against the Celtics. And I've seen the Hawks a couple of games a year, probably 3 games a year. I don't like going downtown if I can avoid it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to go. You got to go where your base is, and your base isn't there. Your base is up here. So the rumor is, and they're building a lot of stuff out here on 400 North. There's a lot going on. It's nuts how much is going on in South Forsyth County. And again, I'm in North Fulton County. I was just driving by yesterday. It's like, damn, it's like, man. So they're thinking about putting a big old arena in there, so that could be attractive to the Winnipeg Jets to come back. I think it'd be great. I'd call them the Atlanta. I guess you can't call them the Atlanta Flames because the Calgary Flames. But I know Calgary was the original Atlanta Flames. But dude, I might retire over there over by Athens, Georgia, Charlotte, and me get season tickets. Be freaking fantastic. Don't have all the crazy traffic going to Atlanta and all the idiots down there. That'd be freaking great. I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Whew, that'd be nice. But I do miss New England Sports Network. I do. All right. Right here. So here's this guy. Oh, Liberty. All right, right here. So it's more difficult when you're older. Look at Liberty. He doesn't know how to type. Look at Liberty. He's like, you're older. When you are older, Liberty. See, these are the moon landing people, believers. They're like, you're older. They're supposed to have apostrophe there. Yeah. I'm a spell check Nazi. You get you're older, switch plans because the underwriters, 100%. You get a free pass. I think someone showed up late to the live stream here, but he is right. If you go initially, when you first enroll in Medicare, you can go on Medigap without being underwritten. If you decide to go Part C, Medicare Advantage, and later on want to switch back to Medicare Supplement, i.e. Medigap, you have to be underwritten, and you might not get it. Again, there are some states, there are a few, that's a guaranteed issue, and those states it costs an arm and a leg for your Medicare supplemental policies. Yeah, Salt Lake's trying to get team too. Yeah, 100%. Hey, right here. I lived in a town where The Walking Dead was filmed. Right on. Would love to have a place in Big Canoe. They're building a major soccer center here. But so you're in Peachtree City? Wait, yeah, Peachtree City. Isn't that where Walking Dead was filmed? Peachtree City? Big Canoe, Pam, a couple years ago. So Big Canoe, guys, that's like north of us. It's up towards LJ and whatnot. And it used to be where the SunTrust Bank executives would buy their second homes. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Blue Ridge, Blairsville, and whatnot. And it's nice. I had a couple clients up there, as a matter of fact, and I enjoyed driving up there and visiting with them. And I remember it's probably 10 years, maybe less than that. but they couldn't sell anything, all because no one wanted to move up there because the schools were so bad. You know what I'm saying? So people like, I'd love to live up here to retire, but I'm not going to move up here with my kids because the schools are horrible. I say horrible. They weren't what they were hoping for. You know what I'm saying? But it's freaking gorgeous, dude. I think Big Canoe is back now. Senoia. I don't even know where that is. Senoia. I never heard of that. Senoia. Senoia. Yeah, those who went Medicare Advantage want to switch is bad. 100%. Sounds like you got some experience in that, brother. But yeah, Big Canoe's nice. North Atlanta North Georgia is just fantastic. Yeah, and the smallest arena is still pretty nice though, but they're not making enough money. Yeah, it's right. You're not perfect like myself. That's exactly right. All right, so here we got Massachusetts is guaranteed issue, so switch back to supplement without underwriting, plus community pricing, so no premium increase as we get older. Yeah, but how much does it cost? That's what I'm saying. How much does it cost relative to what you can get here in Georgia? So somebody, I think it's Judy B in Michigan, says she's paying for everything $274 a month. You might be paying that or close to it just for your Medicare supplemental policy because it's guaranteed issue. What do I think about Aristotle Coy? I send you about the Josh's happiness and realized capabilities. What do you think of it, Josh, about man's happiness and realized capabilities? How does that correlate to DEI today? I don't remember that. I remember you sent me something. I don't remember the quote specifically. Also, when going on Medicare, be sure you have not insured in a high deductible plan within 6 months. You will get penalized for Medicare. So here's Tom. He pays $147 for Plan G and PA. Yeah, right. Plan G, right there. Yeah. Omaha's trying. Yeah, Omaha. I guess it's Salt Lake would be. I think Salt Lake will get it first. I think they're trying to put a team in Salt Lake, Houston, but I don't think Houston's ready for the team. CMS had the lease. Oh, all right, you got it, Ben. If you can find that link, that'd be fantastic. Oh, that'd be great, Liberty. Squirrel. In Connecticut, my late dad paid $800 for a Medicare supplement with a 3G deductible. Paid $800 a year. Okay, gotcha, a year. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, but I mean, how long ago was that, though? I mean, that's not bad in today's numbers. That's quite good, but how long ago was that? All right, so let's look at this thing from Kaiser here. I thought this was pretty interesting. All right here. All right, more than 65 million people ages 65 and older and younger people with disabilities receive their health insurance through Medicare. Okay, good. While overall satisfaction with the program is high, the financial burden of health spending can prove challenging for Medicare beneficiaries. According to a recent study by Kaiser, Kaiser, isn't it? KFF, isn't that Kaiser Foundation? I'm almost positive it is, but KFF, I'm sure I can't remember. More than 1/3 of Medicare beneficiaries said that delayed or gone without a visit to the docs or someone else because of the cost. Medicare households also spend a larger share of their total budgets on healthcare than non-Medicare households. All right, so this is just dumb. Medicare households also spend a larger share of their total budgets on healthcare than non-Medicare households. I wonder why that is. Because Medicare households are older and they're not working by and large, so their household budgets are less. Older people spend more on healthcare. Shocking, Kaiser. My mind has been blown. Shocking that older people spend more on healthcare relative to their income. Does anyone find that odd? No, that's shocking. And are more likely to need expensive long-term care services and supports over an extended time, which are not covered by Medicare. Yeah, they are more likely, but that doesn't mean it's likely. It just means they are more likely. All right, so I've looked at the methods. The methods seem legit to me. So check. So Kaiser is trying to make this a negative because all these fools I shouldn't say fools, should make it a negative. Sometimes you think Pablo has a better attention span. Well, he does. He's Stone Pablo, man. He just says, like, yeah, dude. All right, so let's keep going. 1 in 4 Medicare beneficiaries live on incomes below 21,000. All right. Well, half lived on incomes below 36,000. All right. So I had to highlight this because when I first saw it, I was like, all right. So 1 in 4 Medicare beneficiaries lived on incomes below 21,000 per person. Per person. Half lived on incomes below 36,000 per person. That means 3,000 a month. More than half lived on incomes more than 3,000 a month per person. So we know right for a fact that between 25% of the population lived on incomes between 21,000 and 36,000 per person. That could be 30,000 a year. That's $2,500 a month per person. That means Charlotte and Josh, that's $5,000 a month because it's per person. $2,500 for her, $2,500 for me. 5,000 a month. That's not poverty. That's not chump change. The Kaiser Foundation. I know you're trying to make it seem that way, but if 1 in 4 lived on incomes below 21,000 per person, and half lived on incomes below 36,000, inherently we can just be logically say that means 25% of the population lived on incomes above $21,000 per person, up to $36,000. Okay. Median income now. So median income decline. So we're talking about now median income. Median income declined with age among older adults. Does that shock anybody that your income declines as you age? Because people are working less, right? Spending down their assets. It was lower for women than men because they have lower Social Security benefits because men do harder, more risky jobs. Shocking, shocking, ladies. You're not out there freaking welding in the middle of the wintertime in the freaking underneath a freaking steamship. Men are. And lower for Black and Hispanic than white beneficiaries. I love how there's always blacks versus whites when they don't include Asians or Indians. I wonder why. 1 in 4 Medicare beneficiaries has savings below $16,950 per person. So 25% of people had savings below $17,000. Yeah, $17,000. Well, half, again, how they couch this, has savings below $103,000, which means half had savings above $103,000. Come on, man, jeez. They ain't too shabby per person. So that inherently means 75% of the population, or 25% of the population, has savings at least $17,000, up to $103,000. Okay, destitute? No. As with income, median savings decline with age among those ages 65 and older. Shocking. We're spending down our assets. That's why we have it for to spend it down. And blacks, substantially lower for blacks and Hispanics and whites. Oh. Who's to blame for that? Racism. Racism is to blame, right? Because Hispanics came over on a slave ship? No. Racism's to blame. Well, why? Why is racism to blame? Oh, because whites have, we have our white privilege cards. Shh, don't tell anybody. But, I was going to the store the other day. I said, man, I forgot my wallet. And that's where my white privilege card is. So they charged me twice. They charged me double what I'd normally pay because I didn't have my white privilege card. Don't tell anybody about that. Sometimes I don't pay. I know this is SNL. I think Eddie Murphy did this. Sometimes I don't pay because I bust out my white privilege card. They say, oh, it's okay. Sometimes I'll get a job making big bank because I bust out my white privilege card. They're all saying, we want DEI, we're going to have affirmative action, all this, but I just bust out my white privilege card and I get hired. It's crazy. It's great. The golden years are not so golden. Your time is coming. All right. Thanks. That's great. Okay. Yeah, no, income decline. Yeah, what I'm saying. No dental, hearing, visions included should be changed to include. I don't know if Charles Murray said the exact same thing Scott Adams said, but Scott Adams said a group of people don't like you. We know that for a fact. No one, the fact they canceled Scott Adams over that is just like, dude. I mean, look at what is being told about white people, man. I mean, this isn't rocket science. People are saying we don't like you. Okay, I'll take you at your word. I'll leave you be. That people got all canceled Scott Adams. Like what? It's crazy. And Charles Murray wrote the bell curve. Remember, Charles Murray wasn't even the brains behind the bell curve. It's sad, actually. The guy who actually was the brains behind it, the statistician, he died. And I wish he would not have. It would have been fun to see him. I don't drink caffeine fast, Eddie. That's the funny thing. Did you hear about the guy in dude, I just said that. I said Charles Murray wrote the bell curve. I literally just said that. And he wasn't the brains behind it, though. He co-authored it with another guy who's a statistician behind it. I think Carl is trying to bust my balls here for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on there, Carl. Yeah, I don't drink caffeine, brother, man. So you're going to have to come up with a different one. You can say I dye my hair, but you can't say I drink caffeine because I don't. Anyway, there's a guy, and I got to show you this if I could. Where did I see that? There's oh man, I can't remember. There's a guy in Britain who put up stickers that said it's okay to be white, and they're sending him to jail for like 2 years or something like that. And like the whatever the cop was, Bobby or whatever they call him, William Shockley was the brains. Yeah, right on behind the bell curve. Yeah, exactly. And he died. Nah, dude, it's okay, man. Being white's cool. I'm not proud to be white, and I'm not ashamed to be white. I don't understand. So I'm proud to be anything. Why would you ever be proud of stuff other people did? You can be proud of I'm freaking proud of Ben Carson. Does that make me proud to be black? No. If I was black, would I be proud to be black because what Ben Carson has done? No, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of what Frederick Douglass. I'm proud of freaking Booker T. Washington. I'm proud of good people. I'm not proud to just be white. It's the stupidest thing ever. But white people did this. Okay, well, you go do it. I don't know how. So why would you be proud? It's dumb. Not you. But I mean, it's so stupid. I'm like, ugh. And this is the whole point. They want us to put us these little bubbles like only whites only here because I don't want to be. It's like, oh, whites are being discriminated. It's just, you got to call it out and laugh at it. But I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. Just laugh at it, man. There's no excuse to be like, oh, they're holding me back. They're holding me back. Who's holding you back? The college administrators. Okay, well, go to a different school. Well, they don't like me over there. Then go learn a trade. All these people, they're freaking. I hate the whining. I hate it, man. I can't take it anymore. I hate the whining. It's like, dude, do you know what people of all races went through? I mean, I think you're from Hong Kong. What did Chinese people go through before in this country? What did blacks go through? What did whites go through? You know what I'm saying? All people went through all kinds of stuff to help build this country, and we should all be proud of all their accomplishments, man. I don't want a White Heritage Month. That's the thing, because the same thing with like black. What is a black? What is a black? Define a black. Sub-Saharan Africa? All right, well, we have different places there too. So we got to find out what is a black. Sub-Saharan Africa, that's a black. Okay. So which tribe of Sub-Saharan blacks? You see what I'm saying? I don't want any part of that crap. It's dumb. I don't want a White Heritage Month. What is German? Irish? What do we do? What is Italian white? Because Italians used to not be really considered white. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anything to do with that. I think it's dumb. Now, with that said, I'm not at all ashamed to be white, and I will, promote to get rid of this DEI crap because I have white children. I want to have fair treatment, but it's so freaking dumb. I get so sick of it. 100%. Now to be colorblind makes you a racist. Isn't that crazy? UK doesn't have. Yeah, well, the UK is just run by idiots, man. I mean, that Indian guy who runs the country now, he's asking about Islamic terrorism. He says Islamic terrorism and right-wing extremism are our two biggest things. You're like, dude, it's like you are so stupid. I mean, Islam. I've said this since day one. If the Muslims were terrorists, as they say, we'd all be dead. They're just not. They're just not. And then, but there's not a Muslim under everyone's thing trying to freaking kill you. There's just not. Stop that. That drives me up. I've said this since 9/11. And did all the 18 Saudi Arabians with box cutters really pull this off? I don't know. I have questions. But be that as it may, let's just say they did. I mean, my goodness, man. There's not a Muslim under everyone's bed trying to kill him. It's just not happening. And then same thing with the right-wingers. There's a right-wing Nazi under everybody's bed. He's going to get you. He's going to jump out at you in the middle of Chicago. He's going to bag the country. It's so freaking stupid. And people literally think that this is what is happening in this country. It's just not. You stay away from South Fulton County, the likelihood of you being a violently criminal, being hit by a violent crime is almost nil. You take away some of these urban areas, mostly all black, if not all black, like 7 cities, St. Louis, Atlanta, I think is one of them, a couple other places. We have less crime here than like in Denmark or something like that. It's stupid, man. And I feel bad for the blacks who are innocent victims of this, but I hate to say it, they voted for this crap. I mean, they're voting for it left and right. They're voting for all that. And I don't understand why, but it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I just know I'm getting the hell out of Fulton County the minute I can. That's a fact. The minute, because I don't want to be in Blue County. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care if I live around if the blacks around me are all freaking crushing. I got no problem with that at all. Just keep crushing. But I don't want to live near I don't want to live near whites who are methamphetamine addicts and freaking voting for all this stuff either. I don't want that. Don't put me in the same box with them just because our skin is a little bit pale. They can kiss my big fat behinds too. Anyway, it's stupid. I like being called a Christian nationalist. I got no problem with that at all. I know I saw a post like, don't let them call you a Christian nationalist. Why? I like it. 100% Christian nationalism. I'm all for it, man. I know I did, man. I know I did. Yeah, the box cut. I don't know if the box cutters pulled it off, man, but who backed them? Yeah, I agree. Corporations are still forced to cater to this crap so they don't get canceled, raised. Yeah. We had a person of color get promoted simply for quota, and the org is still going down. Yeah, well, it's sad. It's sad. But content, man, if you guys are ready, you got to listen to Owen Benjamin's stream on this on Black History Month. It's so freaking funny. Oh my God. He says, I am judging people on their content of character. And a certain group of people, their character sucks. He goes, I'm not judging them on their skin color. I'm judging them on their content of character. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. That's why he can't be on YouTube. That's why I'll probably have to get rid of this live stream when we're done because I mentioned the guy's name. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. So his whole take on, you can only get it on Rumble and on unauthorized.tv. But Black History Month, the funny thing is, he's really good friends, these 2 blacks who live in Idaho. They're married. And the woman is like Jamaican, and the husband's like just American black. And he says, he went up to her house the other day, said, she makes the best friggin' fried chicken you've ever had in your life ever. She's black. It's like, dude, it's so good. It's like, yeah. And so this idea that's racist to say blacks and fried chicken. So if they make the best fried chicken ever, then that's kudos to them because I love fried chicken. Let me tell you, my fried chicken sucks. So I know I need to get a recipe for a black person because I know I need to get good fried chicken. I love it. If that's racist, so be it. That's just a fact. And it was funny as hell. So these guys, these black neighbors, they moved to Idaho to get away from LA or something like that. Kids, the whole thing. And Owen said, oh my God, this is so funny. He said, if they ever died, they had to adopt their kids. I would name him Adopto because he doesn't want anyone to think that his wife had a baby got jiggy with Adopto. He said, I have to name him Adopto. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so funny. So he's almost got 4 white kids, and now he's got a black kid who he adopted from his neighbors. He says, I gotta name him Adopto. So everyone we know we adopted him, as opposed to his. Oh man, I gotta be careful what I say on YouTube. And every time I hear the Adopto thing, it brings tears to my eyes. And I think about when in South Park with Token, it's Tolkien with a T. He's got his T on his shirt, and Owen can put like an A on the guy's shirt. Oh my goodness! Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, did you see that Biden? He had. Oh my goodness, he had this like black family. He brought a fried chicken, and Biden was eating a hamburger. Oh, never change, Biden. You're the best, dude. Biden crushes. He gets it. Does the UK still have soccer hooligans? Only in their minds. You know what I'm saying? Only in their minds. Oh, that's a Adopto. Anyway. Hey, Harry. That's funny. Harry's here. All right. I can't believe you're paying full county taxes to support Fannie Roe. 100%. Trust me. And no one ran against her though, Pam. And when we voted in Fulton County, she was there's no choice to run against her as a DA. You know what I'm saying? So and she was supposed to be the moderate one in terms of she was going to clean up because she did. There's a couple of rappers that they're going after, Young Thug here, and you probably heard about that. And they're supposed to be going after some. They're going after some rappers. Fannie was big on, because remember Fulton County and Cobb County, they had this huge school scandal where they're cheating to make their grades look good. And even Thomas Sowell had written about like one of these guys who turns out he was a snake in the grass in one of his books. Black rednecks and white liberals. He talked about some of these schools that had amazing grades because of adopting a more thorough schooling approach. In the case of Atlanta, it was wrong. They cheated. That's 100%. And Fannie Willis was going after these people. And but she was Sniffy Joe and his team. We know they said, "Hey, we can make you prominent if you." And this whole thing's so damn corrupt. It's so corrupt. That's why, even though I expect Trump to win, I won't be disappointed if he doesn't. And the reason I say it is because I don't know if the voting stuff has been cleaned up enough, if that makes sense. So I absolutely expect Trump to win. But I'm not going to I won't be shocked if he does not lose, if that makes sense, because I'm not sure the voting rolls have been cleaned up. Even our own idiot here, Brad Puffy Barger, he hasn't done crap. He's freaking saying all these guys. Hey, look at Harry. Harry's here. Oh, look, Harry's got the match right on. Is that what they're saying, that Putin is flooding the U.S. with immigrants to influence the election? What? Ugh, good. All right, so let's go back to reading this article. All right, that was fun. That was a good side note there. Man, it's already 9:34. I've already been on here for $1.34. And Fast Eddie thinks I'm drinking too much caffeine. Unless there's caffeine in this. I don't know why there's caffeine in this thing. But man, that stuff's good. If you ever get spendthrift. Oh, Carl, do I have less of attention span than Pablo? All right, so let's keep going. Oh, that was good stuff. That made me laugh. Dude, laughter is critical, man. You got to laugh. 1 in 4 Medicare beneficiaries had no home equity at all, which means 75% had home equity. Well, half of Medicare beneficiaries had home equity below $125,000 per person. Half of Medicare beneficiaries had home equity at least $125,000 per person. Okay, which means 25% of Medicare beneficiaries had at least $1 of home equity up to $124,000 per person. I just don't know how can you phrase this negatively? Yes, 1 in 4 have no home equity. Could that be because there's about 20% of the population who's I don't have it. Or do I have it here? Nah. Who are renting, Kaiser? They don't have home equity because they're renting, you freaking people. Shocking. You rent, you don't have any home equity. What? It's freaking stupid. And they're making it sound like it's a negative thing. Yes, you don't rent. If you don't rent, you don't have home equity inherently. And about 20% of retirees rent. Thus, they have no home equity. So that means 5% of homeowners have no home equity who are on Medicare. That's to get your freaking panties all tight? Crazy. More than 1 in 5 Black and Hispanic beneficiaries had no savings or a debt. All right. That means 4 in 5 have savings or are not in debt. Compared to fewer than 1 in 10 whites. Well, again, whites. All right. I'm going to go off on a tangent. What destroyed the Black freaking family? Was it whites? The Klan? No. It's big government. It's Lyndon Baines Johnson. 100%. And he said it. And he said, use the N-word, which I will not say here. He used the N-word. He said, if I can get this passed, those N's will never not vote for me or something. That's what Lyndon Baines Johnson did, LBJ. And what happened with the welfare benefits? Oh, it broke the Black family. Thus, we have single women raising multiple kids. We know that because they get paid to have more children. And there's some whites too. But the majority, if not the vast majority of whites, are two-parent households. That's just a fact. The vast majority of Blacks are one-parent households, single women. And that's a fact too. Inherently, because whites have 2 incomes, and because of the fact that Blacks have 1, whites are going to be better positioned financially. I don't know why anyone would be shocked by that. So instead of saying it's racism, it's the family dynamics, man. Everybody knows this. I had a guy on here, my man Sam. I like Sam a lot. He since let me go. Too bad. He was in the Navy. It's just a good American guy. He bought a house in Ohio, and one time he said, "You can come by." And this is before he had a fall. We had a falling out because I wouldn't. I'm not gonna pretend that blacks aren't. I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh my goodness, the whole country's turned against black." I'm just not gonna. Man. It's stupid. It's just not. Blacks have a problem that they not staying married. That's just a fact. And whites are doing the same thing. And Daniel Patrick Moynihan said this back in like the 60s. Defining deviancy down or something like that. Back then, a third of black families were a single family. And like 10% of white families or something like that. All right. So back in the 60s, and Daniel Patrick Moynihan, a big lib from New York, said a third of black households are run by single parents, essentially women. Back then, it was like 10% of whites. You fast forward today, it's like 75% of black households are run by single women. And now it's a third of white households. It's defining deviancy down or something like that is what it's called. Civil Rights Act killed black families, 100%, dude, 100%. It's freaking disgusting. And even worse is the black men have no male role models at all. And they're raised by women, and women I was raised by my mom for a couple of years. I don't say more. I don't know. I'm trying to think. But anyway, I was raised by my mom for a couple. Women don't see things the way men do. There is no men in a young man's life if there's no dad around. And that's for white men too. You think about it, you go to elementary school, there's no men in there. You know what I'm saying? There's no men at the household unless you're playing sports. That's the only place you see a man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's freaking horrific. And as such, a lot of these young black men filled with testosterone, you know what I'm saying? They don't have any male role model at all, other than on the football field, the basketball court. And how many of them playing? Not that many. And as such, what do? They got all this testosterone. They hear this freaking horrible hip hop music, you know what I'm saying? Which is made by, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be careful what I say. Let's put it this way. Non-blacks were perpetuating that the violent hip hop music. In fact, I was just watching a Family Guy short today. 80s blacks versus 90s blacks. 80s blacks, like the break dancers. Hey, we're here to help the kids. It's all, Peter Griffin invites them to the house, to help the kids. And the 80s black guys, hey, we're here to help the kids. We just want to perform for the kids. 90s black guys. What caused that? What caused that change? And it happened in the white community too. Because they wanted to appeal to rich white kids to make them feel like they're gangsters. Let's just put it this way. It's the people in control of the music industry who will go nameless who are responsible for that. They really want to perpetuate. Have you ever seen Tupac Shakur before he became a gangster? When he was like, let's just put it this way. He looked very effeminate, if that makes sense. There's a video of that guy dancing around, looked very effeminate. So what changed in that guy? Do you think he just all of a sudden magically said, I'm going to be a gangster? Or was he changing because people powers that be said, dude, if you want to be famous and rich, you got to do this. It's crazy. Look, I invite you to look up old Tupac, whatever the freaking guy's name was. It's crazy, man. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting. He looked very feminine. That's all there is to it. And then all of a sudden, just like that. And did you hear Snoop Dogg, that guy? He went to high school with Cameron Diaz? What? It's live action role playing, man. All these guys. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's freaking disgusting. And then the whites took it on there. And then, Kevin Samuels. Yep. Black women celebrated Kevin Samuels' death. He called them out on their behavior, used facts and stuff. Yeah, 100%. They didn't care. And same with Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown is going through the same stuff. I don't know if you guys follow Kwame Brown, but he was the number one pick in the NBA in 1998 or something like that. And he had a good career, not a great career, a good career. They want to say he's a bust. He was absolutely not a bust. He played 12 years. He played with Kobe, played with Michael Jordan, all kinds of stuff, and he made bank. And he same thing. He's like he calls out black women for the behavior, and they hate him. And not all black women do. It's crazy. I like Kwame Brown a lot actually. And he, it's funny because he says what some weak-skinned white guys would call racist, not racist at all. It's very interesting the way, because I just like people who are willing to talk. Basically saying let's put it this way. He knows who controls things. He has to be careful who he says it. So he says, I'm going to call them whites, if that makes sense, because the media the sports media, the media as a whole, the entertainment industry are run by certain groups of people that are white. They look like they're white, if that makes sense. And people can get all frustrated about this. It's just, these are just truth, man. And there's some groups of people who want to hurt other people, and they promoted bad music that it permeated in the black community, and then it went to the white community too. And that's why we have, but the thing about the white community is that while these idiot whites can pretend they're gangsters, you see what I'm saying? They can still go home to mommy and daddy. The blacks, though, they don't have a daddy to go home to. That's freaking disgusting, man. And as such, I don't know what the evil was. I don't know what it is, but it's pure evil. And, I'm not God, and hope God will have vengeance. Satire has become reality, 100%. I saw some Family Guy. If Trump gets 85 to 90 million votes, yeah, but how would you know, though, Jill? That's the thing. How do you know he will? How do you know he didn't last time? I mean, how do we know? I don't know. 100%, man. It's hard to have a moral society when you sell immoral ideas. Candace Owens is starting to come freaking real big time. I'm not sure. Gothic, yeah, I haven't followed her for a while. I'm not sure Melanie King is. Candace Owens is saying some stuff. She's I love it. Candace Owens, she's on fire. And I don't follow Candace Owens. I mean, I see tidbits and stuff. I don't follow. I just don't. But I'm too busy listening to this book right here, by the way. And I right here, let me show you. Oh, man. Hold on a second. Oops. Right here. The Cider House Rules by John Irving. And look, it's like 24 hours. This is a great book. All these people, I don't know if it's true or not, but all these people say this is a pro-abortion book. It's absolutely, no, nothing could be further from the truth. Absolutely, it's not. It's not a pro-abortion book in the least. I haven't seen the movie. I'll watch it here when I'm done listening to it. I'm almost done. Nothing could be further from the truth, man. It's not an anti-abortion movie book, but it's not pro-abortion. I remember hearing that like a long time ago when the movie came out. They're promoting abortion. No. I just, all right. So anyway, I want to go back to this thing here real quick with Kaiser, because I don't know why, when there's absolutely positive stuff to report, they just focus on the negatives here. All right. So again, half of all Medicare beneficiaries lived on incomes below $36,000 per person. I don't know why. That's $3,000 a month, man. That's $3,000 a month per person. And then that means half lived on more than that. So if you're married, this is the point. If you're freaking married, two people is cheaper in a household than one. This is why marriage is such a big freaking deal. Charlotte and I combine our resources. We have one house to pay for. Jill, who is not married, has one house to pay for with her own resources. Now Jill's crushing, but if two people live cheaper than one person. And everybody know this. It's crazy. And yet these guys are acting like. So what we should do is say, and this is what I tell my boys. I say, look, if you're gonna freaking get jiggy with it, one of three things are gonna happen. This again, something I got from Owen Benjamin. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I never thought of it like this. You're gonna kill the baby, you're gonna abandon the baby, or you're gonna marry and take care of the baby. Only one of three things. And right now, we have a society who says it's okay to kill and it's okay to abandon. And a society that looks down on marrying. And that's disgusting. And we're not going to fix that society other than with our actions. Getting married and staying married. Now, Carl, and he'll say, yeah, but you got to, there are women out there up to no good. 100%, dude. I don't have any disagreement with that in the least. There's many women are out there no good. 100%. So what we got to do is try to find the ones that are up to good. And there are many that are up to good as well if you're a young man. The issue is that doesn't mean you should be getting jiggy with anything that freaking says okay. No. Young men need to be more in control of their freaking behaviors, and they need to keep in their pants. And when they keep in their pants, they save their stuff for someone that is true to them. More often than not, they're going to find someone who's true to them for the rest of their lives. In fact, I was reading a study just the other day that, what was it? The you know how they say half the marriages end in divorce? If you take out the multiple marriages, like my dad's wife was married 3 times, and my dad and 2 other people before that. You take out my dad was married twice. You take out the multiple marriages or what I can't remember what it was. There's only 20% of divorce of marriages end in divorce, if that makes sense. And then there's an article too I read a while ago, a couple years ago, but marriages, people getting married in the 90s have a much higher marriage success rate than people who got married in previous generations. I thought that's pretty interesting. Um, oh man, Pam, sorry to hear that. Are you a widow? Is that what you're saying? You're a widow? Yeah, but well, but yeah, see that no, child support isn't debtor's prison. Child support would be like my dad had to pay child support when they got divorced. I got no qualm with that, man. Now alimony is different, but my dad had to pay child support. Was he not supposed to? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, he's not supposed to financially support his children. Sorry to hear that, Pam. How old are you, Pam? I mean, you don't look that old. I'm just wondering. I don't. You don't. I'm not being personal. I'm curious because you don't seem like you're a typical widow. Right about being cheaper for 2 than 1. It's called the singles penalty and widow tax. 100%, Jill. You're getting it. Dennis Prager probably helped jack up that stat. I can't take conservatism when they can't even live their own values. Not sure what you're talking about, brother. Dennis Prager, what? I can't take conservatism when they don't live their own values. You're 62. Right on. Yeah, sorry, man. That sucks, man. Yeah, wife's that's. And how would he know that his wife's good? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, hell, my wife could be doing that right, but she's not. But she could. Um, Jacked up that stat about probably helped Jack. What has he been married a bunch? Is Dennis Prager been married a bunch of times? Oh, my husband died very expected at 61. Now let's say a prayer, and then we'll end this thing. If let's say, Son, Holy Spirit, Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, you are the creator of the entirety of the universe. I just speak for myself that I don't take your glory seriously enough, and I need to. Because everything you've created, we should be glorifying. Everything. That doesn't mean we're going to be happy, or be rich, but we just need to turn to you at all times, in good times and bad times. And sadly, I know for a fact I turn to you in bad times a whole lot more than I turn to you in good times, Heavenly Father. But Lord, we pray for people like Pam, who lost their husband at an unexpectedly early age. We pray for those people whose wives have cheated on them, whose husbands have done bad things. We pray for marriages to stay together. We pray for young men to escape from violence and the illusion that violence makes you tough. We just need your help, God, and we just pray in Jesus' name. We pray, Amen. Man, that's I can't imagine. That just side note. I'm going to do a video probably tomorrow, talking to these guys today. This is going to seem kind of like about marrying someone who's like 10 years younger. So this guy I was talking to today, he and his wife, and Big Al. And I've had a couple of people in this case. You know, he's like 13 years younger, older than his wife or something like that. And she's hot, you know what I'm saying? And I say it with all being just all, she's very cute, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying hot. She's definitely hot, but I don't mean it like, oh, I'm saying it being in a fun way, if that makes sense. And Al he's crushing. But the issue is that like he's on Medicare now. She's not. Not for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And she'll be a widow for many, many years to come. You see, and so he's asking about, should we do Roth conversion and whatnot? And for them, no, not now, not while she is still working, but at some point maybe. But there is a different issue when you're that far removed from your spouse, because your spouse will be a widow for a number of years. And Pam's case here is that she was an unexpected widow for a number of years. and now she's getting crushed by taxes. That sucks, man. She didn't deserve that. She wasn't expecting that, and it happens. And how do you best prepare for that stuff? And in these people's case, Al and his better half, not that much to do, because even with her income, he's retired, but he's about ready to. Even with her income, they're still in the higher tax bracket they're ever going to be, because once they're both on social and small pension, they're not going to be paying much in taxes. So I wouldn't be doing Roth conversions now, because even the widow's tax trap for her isn't going to be much. It'll be a little bit, but not much. But relative to the tax they're paying now. But at some point, there'll be a time to do Roth conversions, just not now. But anyway, the point being is you just never know when that time comes, man. And we just got to be prepared. And I was telling these guys today, I said, man, we got to get on your estate docs, because they had a will done from LegalZoom like 15 years ago, but didn't have a power of attorney or anything. I said, no, that's the wrong answer. We got to get that going. I was talking to a guy the other day, 3 kids, 1 special needs, and 1 special need kid just cannot inherit any money. And, his initial premise was he's going to leave his IRA to his 2 kids that aren't special needs, and they'll take care of, their brother with the money. I said, but the problem with that is that they're going to get this money, and for them to take care of them, it's going to be taxable, because they're going to inherit the money, and they don't have to pay a gift tax, in terms of helping the kid out, but they're going to have to pay income tax and withdraw the money. You see what I'm saying? Amar and I are going to talk about this special needs trust and stuff in 2 weeks. This upcoming week, we're talking about index annuities. I had a couple guys. Man, Roger, man, he didn't. He asked me about index annuities, and I emailed him back in my curt way, but I was like, he never emailed back to me. Have I heard of one woman being held accountable for paternity fraud? I haven't done any research on it. I'm not even sure what paternity fraud is. Is that when you're pretending that the baby's yours or something like that? Well, exactly, special needs trust, but it's 100%. But the issue here is the beneficiary designations on the big IRA he has right now wasn't going to the trust. It was actually going to the children, the 2 of the 3. And that is a huge taxable hit to them when that's not what he wanted. So the issue now we have to contend with, and I emailed Amar this, I don't know the rules. It's been a while, because I haven't been in this business on that side for a long time in terms of heavy in it. I used to be very heavy into estate planning. My whole reason for living at USA, in my opinion, was to talk to people about their lack of estate planning. Tons and tons of just horrible stuff. And I'm like, that's the wrong answer. So I used to partner with a couple guys, and we pretty heavy on it. I used to be Trust in the States magazine, a subscriber to that. Used to go to some conferences and stuff, or at least at least listen to conferences. Read Natalie Choate's book and stuff. And I just haven't followed that for a long, for 5 years, 6 years now, that much. And now that with the new Trump bill, the tax bill that came, that you have to get rid of your IRAs within 10 years. I texted Amar, because he's still in this, I said, so I emailed him, I said, all right, does a 10-year non-spouse distribution applies if it goes to a special needs trust? All right, so a trust, we have to have a designated beneficiary. That means a person. All right, so you got to, guys, and I'm going to go a little bit, just hang tight. If you have a trust, but it doesn't have a person as a beneficiary, that's what do they call that? That's a non-designated beneficiary, and that's the wrong answer. At least it used to be. I'm almost positive it's now. You want to make sure there is a named person in your trust documents as a beneficiary. I'm not an attorney. It's been a while since I read up any of this stuff, so go seek your own guidance on this. But a non-designated beneficiary within a trust, it blew it up for some reason. I can't remember why. You couldn't stretch it or something like that. I think it had to be distributed like immediately. I forgot. But anyway, so I asked Amar, I said, I can't remember. I said, does a 10-year non-spouse distribution applies if it's a special needs trust instead of individual people? And Amar says, I believe if it's not a see-through trust, then it's 5 years. But I need to look that up. And so we're going to talk about that. So he goes, under exception to the Secure Act, a person with disabilities can still inherit retirement funds and take RMDs over their lifetimes. Ooh, Oh, that's interesting. Oh, see, this is what I did not know. That's why me and Amara doing these streams are I think, pretty informative. So, under the exception to the Secure Act, a person with disabilities, a special needs trust, can still inherit retirement funds and take RMDs over their lifetime rather than the 10-year time period required of other non spousal beneficiaries. And Liberty says that's correct about the trust. Interesting. Oh, dude, that's why I got to get out of here, dude. Crazy. Because they're going to sue. Fulton County is going to be sued by somebody, and someone's going to pay Fulton County is going to pay, which means my taxes. Anyway, an eligible designated beneficiary. So, anyways, that's something we're going to talk about because so in this guy's case, if he died and left everything to his kids, his two kids that aren't special needs, they had to inherit the money. Then they're going to pay it to their brother they want to take care of. Well, they got to pay tax on those distributions. That's not, and they still got 10 years, which make the distributions total. And that's a huge tax hit as well. Also, although you will have to pay the taxes within 10 years. So you can stretch it over your life, but you got to pay how would they know what the taxes would be? So here's Ted. A disabled recipient can withdraw over their lifetime, is not subject to 10-year rules. Oh. Property tax are a major expense. Northern Ohio loves their taxes and their levies. Yes, sir. I think I saw Andrew on here before too. Grandson turned 23. When did we get so old? When he went to the moon, Tom. I have multiple for not paying their child support for kids that aren't theirs. Oh, okay, no, I get that. Yeah, I mean, hell, 100. I do. That's 100%. I completely agree with that. I mean, that's not, if it's not your child, then you should. But the problem is, if the men didn't have the freaking babies to begin with. Does the Catholic Church actively try to encourage later in life dating? It's very common, small groups and such. Yeah, I would think. The small groups were new to me from the as a default Catholic, but when I started, going to I went to Andy Stanley's North Point Church for a little bit, and we had a bunch of. I didn't like it. It's too rock and roll. I like Andy Stanley, nothing like that, but lots of small groups. And we had I knew some Presbyterians that had small groups. We didn't have that so much in Catholic. That's not true. We did have, when we lived in New Jersey, we had a group of small, it was more of a Bible study. They were big libs, man. They were big libs. So we had, actually funny, we had one guy was in the Army. They had like 7 kids. These two guys, this guy was Indian and the wife was white, but she was from, I think, New Hampshire or something like that. And then Charlotte and me, and then some other group that was pretty liberal. So we were conservative, we're right wing. The guy in the Army and his wife with 7 kids, they're very right wing. And the other two were liberal as could be. Other 2 groups were liberal as could be. And we all got along fine. It was great. You know what I'm saying? We completely disagreed on everything. But we all got along fine. It was a good Bible study. I very much enjoyed it. They were just wrong on their viewpoint of the world, obviously. I mean, it's like, you're just wrong. I think we need to grow up a little bit. If we just ban guns, violence will go away. I was only 14 when we went to the moon. So actually you're 13 then, right now. So Tom's 13 because he said he was 14 when we went to the moon. We didn't go to the moon, so Tom is only 13, if that makes sense. So let me give an example with Carl. So I don't know this story exactly, but going back to my mom saying that I just heard this side from my dad. But my one of the reasons my dad was broke all the time and had gone bankrupt is because he said my mom didn't get his child support money. And I said, really? She goes, yeah. And he said, I had the canceled checks to prove it, but she says I didn't get it. And the Cumberland County was coming after him to pay the child support. I was like 13 years old or something. I don't know what all that meant. But I said, I remember thinking, so either you're lying because you have the canceled checks to prove that you paid it, or she's lying and getting Cumberland County to come after you, Maine to come after you for child support. couldn't this be resolved pretty easily? Like someone's lying here. Who is it? I'll never forget. And I don't know who's right. I don't know. I never looked into it, but jeez. Well, we got tons of Wisconsinites on here. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know what happened in terms of my dad and child support and all that. I don't know. All I know is I didn't see a damn thing of that. That's for damn sure. You know what I'm saying? But could my mom have gotten away with canceled checks? My dad proven canceled checks? Probably. The courts are set up in favor of the women. Carl, I already talked about this at the beginning of this live stream, how I was a victim of a woman crying false tears and put me in prison, not prison, but jail for a night. And I had to freaking go and sell all my LPs, my vinyl, to hire an attorney to defend myself against this insane woman. And then when it came to the court case, I was already living in Phoenix. I had to fly back to freaking Arlington County, Virginia. And when it came to the court, she just didn't bother to show up. I was like, well, where do I get my money back? How can I go after her? What's this about? Crazy. I already said this, Carl. I'm not saying men have it easy on this. I know for a fact, if I would have gone there and was crying and said this lady hit me, they would have never arrested her. I guarantee. But she was crying, so sympathetic, and blah, blah, blah. I said, what? They came and put me in braces right in front of everybody in the freaking bar. Took me up there to the Clarendon courthouse thing, and I stay overnight in there. Crazy. Freaking magistrate, scumbag, because I have to go to the magistrate. Against the magistrate, he's just some clown. He's the guy who says, yeah, okay, a lady crying. Oh, so simple. This freaking nuts. All right. France said a DNA test would disrupt society. I read that in the U.S. paternity fraud is over 20%. Yeah, that's crazy. Dude. That's crazy. I mean, so you got to pay child support for a child that's not yours. And if you say I want a paternity suit, they say we can't. I mean, we're not going to. That's freaking. That's scumbag stuff there. And that's bad, and that's not good. Crazy. But with all those scumbag women that doing that, because that's scumbag stuff, dude. No other way around that. The facts are there are scumbag men doing the same. You know what I'm saying? The facts are there are scumbag men out there too. It's in proportion. I don't know. But I think the way to avoid all that is to keep it in your pants. Keep it in your pants. Because if you didn't get jiggy with the lady, how could she? I mean, she can accuse. I mean, that's what I'm saying about Lena Dunham accusing that guy from Oberlin College. I get they can accuse you for anything. I grant you. I get that 100%. It's not even the women though. It's the freaking men who say, "I'm gonna protect the women." You know, the white savior kind of people. Like this lady's crying and she's accusing that guy of bad things. I'm gonna protect her because I'm the savior. Like that's freaking. I hate that crap. Lena Dunham accuses this kid from Oberlin College, who's a Republican, of raping her. All fake. And everyone takes Lena Dunham's side. And this kid's just like, dude, what? And Lena Dunham has all the notoriety, all the money, because she's a rich girl. You know what I'm saying? All the media. And this kid's just like some freaking down on his luck guy. He's like, I didn't do that. And all these guys, all these men say, oh, I'm going to show you. You're coming after you for doing what you did to Lena Dunham. And this chick's a freaking evil woman. All right. You're talking France now. I'm not talking France. I don't know anything about France. Dude. That's a perfect example right there. I mean, this is insanity. If there's no justice in this world for our laws. And it really, has there ever been, though? No. Oh, 100%, man. We totally jump back. We just, all the time. And it's been like, dude, you want to hear something funny? And I'll end on this. Look up how the ADL was founded. This will blow your mind. The case that led to the finding of the Anti-Defamation League. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. Look that up. They found the case of the guy who was, let's just put it this way. There's a black guy in, I think it's Fulton County, as a matter of fact. Was it Fulton County? I think it might have been Fulton County. That was accused of raping a white woman, and it wasn't this guy. And the whites got him out of jail because they knew who the person was who did it. The whites in Georgia in like 1913 took the defense of the black guy. Look it up. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Now, did other black men get framed, probably executed for some stupid white girl saying they raped? Absolutely. 100%. It's evil. Do men all over the place get thrown in jail for that? Could have happened to me. Absolutely. Let's say this chick showed up at the court hearing. Let's say the judge said, the judge, she just, what? Open her freaking crying eyes, judge. Oh my goodness. So like Rush Limbaugh used to say when the Republicans took over the House of Representatives and the Senate in 1994, he goes, don't fall for Cokie Roberts batting her eyes. He said it because she's going to bat her eyes at you thinking she's your friend and she ain't. Don't fall for it. And they still, Joe Scarborough, John Kasich, they still fell for it because they love the idea of the power. Just like the men, I'm going to be the guy who protects the limb. We had a guy when I was at USA. I'll never forget this. There's this evil little chick. She sat right next to me. And I was a cube. She was just such a freaking scumbag. She was like, when I was raped, I was like, what? When I was raped, this happened. I was like, it's just, I was like, I don't believe it. I was like, okay, whatever. Anyway, so one guy said, on a call, he goes, ma'am, whatever, you're getting raped on these fees by your brokerage account. And this chick filed a complaint that he said you're getting raped by the fees because you don't understand what it's like to be raped. And this white savior guy says, yeah, you better not let me catch you saying that again. And he sent this email all self-righteous. I said, this chick's an idiot. Everyone knows that. She's a freaking clown. But you are now just identified yourself as the biggest idiot. Because now you're trying to be the white savior. It's so freaking embarrassing. I was just like, I was ashamed for this guy. It's like, dude, this other guy who said it everyone knew what he was saying. It's no big deal. Well, if you were raped, it's like, if you were that traumatized being raped, why would you basically the first thing it's like, you're a vegan, I was a vegan. Hi, my name's Josh. I'm a vegan. This chick, hi, my name is whatever. I've been raped. I'm like, okay. I've been sexually harassed, I've been raped. Oh, the only reason I'm not getting promoted is because I'm a woman. I said, well, maybe because you got a bad attitude. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got a bad attitude. Crazy. Anyway. All right. I'm afraid of being called a creeper. Just like Duke Lacrosse, 100%, dude. And don't forget, they wanted those guys dead. Remember, they were marching. They wanted these guys strung up. Everybody did. Mike Nilfong was the DA. From him on down to professors and stuff, it was crazy. Wasn't it like they had one black guy on the team and he was the one who got, they never went after him, all the white guys, but the one black guy was on the team. They said they just didn't ever go. It's crazy. And this is the whole point. They want this whites being our own little tribe, blacks staying your own little tribe, so we fight. That's what they want, man. And I'm not falling for it. Again, I'm not ashamed at all to be white. It's absolutely okay to be white, but I'm not proud of it either. I could care. I mean, I'm white. That's fine, but it doesn't make me like, oh man, I could care less. But they want you to put these little freaking factions because they know the factions are easier to control. We can blame the Muslims. They can blame the Jews. They can blame the Christians. You know what I'm saying? Easy. We can blame the blacks. They can blame the whites. They can Hispanics jump in here. It's easy. The problem is the whites have been so freaking, cocked for generations now. But that's changing now. I mean, it's changing. And changing is a good thing. I just hope it doesn't change. We're all taking groups. I don't want to be part of a white group. That has no appeal to me at all. None. But it's also okay to say, yeah, you call me, I don't care. You call me racist all day long. It's not true. I just literally don't care. And that's what whites need to do better at, saying, whatever. Okay, it's cool. I literally don't care. That's what more whites need to be. But I got my black friend right here. That's 30 years ago. People were saying that. Don't do that. Just say whatever. Anyway. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, man. God bless you all. Miguel Mayorga. All right, right on, man. Hey, Miguel. I'm not even gonna post that one, Carl. Yeah, 100%, Angie. People need to get back to common, and most people have. That's the funny thing is most people have common sense. And that's why they want to convince us that it's not that. But most, dude, you go to any, you just walk. Where was I walking the other day? I was just talking. Who was I talking to? Some black dude that's just talking. I can't remember. We're just yapping. It's like no one cares. I mean, Has he had an issue at some point with white people in his life? Probably. Have I had an issue at some point with blacks in my life? Probably. Does he have an issue with blacks in his life? Probably. Do I have an issue with whites in my life? Probably. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, people are just trying to get by, man. It's crazy. I don't want a White History Month. We already talked about that, Miguel. We don't need it. We don't want White History Month. No, we don't want that. Don't need it. We got to get away from that stuff. And I don't want to be. That's the thing. Is all that is doing is trying to segregate us more. And like people live amongst who they want. I don't care. And I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh my goodness, I got to live in a diverse, city." I literally don't care. But what I'm saying is, we don't want to be more and more segregated. We want to be less so. And that's all right. Bye, Angie. Yeah, treat people well, and political idiots get involved. It'll just politely walk away. 100%. 100%. It's almost like, didn't Jesus? I think Jesus said the two most important commands. One was to love God above others, and the other was something about treating people right. I think Jesus kind of knew what he was talking about. It's weird how Jesus knew a couple things. Kind of strange. All right. God bless. Thanks again for being there. I really appreciate it. Miguel, show up on time next time. Show up on time. How double dog dare you? I'm not banning you right now. But I think Jesus knew a couple things. Yeah. Thanks again for being here. God bless.